P4L, baby. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm talking about one of my favorite Netflix original shows, Outer Banks. I was able to watch Season 3, Episode 1 through 9 early, so I'm still waiting to check out that finale, but I've seen 90% of the season and have a lot of thoughts here. No spoilers at all, but these are just my 2 cents on the season so far. And before I give you guys my thoughts, hit that like button and subscribe and hit that notification bell, as I am trying to reach my goal of 71,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot. Without further ado, it's time to talk OBX Season 3. And I'm just going to cut to the chase right here. I've enjoyed the hell out of Season 3, just like I did with Seasons 1 and 2, and it puts a big old smile on my face to say that, because I really didn't want this show to disappoint me, and so far it has not. When it comes to Outer Banks, the one thing that I look for is this fun summer vibe. Let me just tell you, the vibes are immaculate, as always. We get the crew hanging out on Pokelandia early on. We get that sense of adventure and escapism that I, crave when I watch Outer Banks, and it is very present here throughout all of Season 3. This season provides us with yet another new adventure. Another piece of the puzzle is introduced in terms of this grandiose treasure hunt that we've been on since the very beginning of Season 1. More and more layers have been revealed at this point, and the plot thickens, as they say. It's easy to tell that they just keep writing in new layers of this treasure with each new season, but they do it in a way that doesn't feel forced. It actually works, and it flows pretty seamlessly with the canon of the Outer Banks universe. And the storytelling so far, it all lines up really well, and props to the writers for, having continuity through the 3 seasons so far. Now, Season 3 sets us up with a lot of new character relationships. Things have changed, since Season 2. The island and Pokelandia that they were on for quite some time actually changed them. As the season progresses, we see that character relationships aren't what they used to be. There's new character duos and groupings. I can't get into too much without saying spoilers. But Pope and Cleo have a fun relationship. We saw it at the end of Season 2, but JJ and Kiara definitely had a spark there, and that may or may not be present here. And of course, John B and Sarah Cameron, whose romance is arguably the core of the whole entire group, is explored more here in very interesting ways. In fact, this season has some, interesting twists and turns that it takes along the way, and in classic Outer Banks fashion, it kept me guessing and kept me on the edge of my seat, as they have those damn cliffhanger endings that just left me like, what am I supposed to do now? In terms of performances, everyone is solid as always, but I really want to shout out Drew Starkey. I feel like his performance as Rafe is very slept on. I'm gonna be honest, I think a lot of people discredit it, and they're like, oh, it's Outer Banks acting. This guy is incredible here. There's a few moments where I was like, oh my gosh, wow, this is great acting. Him and Charles Esten, who plays Ward, have some fantastic back and forth father-son moments here in this season, and it really just lends to the dramatic tension that this season gives us. Now, when comparing Season 3 to Seasons 1 and 2, it definitely follows a similar formula, especially the formula of Season 2, where major beats and, plot points feel like they're sort of rehashed or copied from Season 2. I can't say too much just because I don't want to spoil anything, but certain relationships play out very similarly to Season 2. However, there is a new character introduced in Carlos. He is more of a mysterious, sort of villainous threat here in Season 3. I really love the way that they set him up early on in the season, but as it progresses, I almost wish he had more of a prominent role and they sort of fleshed out this new character a little bit more. But to me, Outer Banks is all about the core group of friends, and while they have their great moments together, like I mentioned up front, it feels like there's a little bit more separation in this season compared to Seasons 1 and 2, which I didn't love, because I loved the friend group dynamic and seeing them all on screen together, but at the same time, kind of splitting them up throughout the season at times, it allowed for them each to grow on their own, which I appreciate, because in Seasons 1 and 2, for the most part, the whole group is together throughout the entire show. This, again, a little bit different, flip the script just a little bit, and I can appreciate that. You guys know, if you saw the post-credit scene for Season 2, or if you saw the trailer, Big John is back. I won't reveal too much about his role in this season here, but that emotional father-son dynamic between John B and Big John is so sweet. In fact, it pulls on the heartstrings, but things might not be all sunshine and rainbows, and that was really interesting, This idea of a son who never lost hope that his father was dead, despite everyone saying, he's dead, you gotta move on. Well, the return of him completely changes John B's life, and it might impact his relationship with his friends and Sarah Cameron. And so seeing John B come to terms with his father's return, it's really interesting. In fact, that is one of the better, I'd say, aspects of Season 3 so far. Without question, this is also the biggest Outer Banks season in terms of scale. The 5th episode is my favorite that I've seen so far, and it was really intense. It was impressive how well they pulled it off, and Outer Banks always has, those adventurous moments. Well, Episode 5 is my favorite so far in terms of like scale and the overall like treasure that they're after this season. They tee it up in the trailer, but I don't want to reveal too much, but they really go for it in this season. We're not just in the Outer Banks anymore, and it's going to be very interesting to see how everyone perceives that when the season drops later this week. Now, like I mentioned up front, I've only seen episodes 1 through 9. I have not watched the finale yet, and up to this point, having seen the penultimate episode, I am a little concerned about if the finale will come off as a little bit rushed. It's a little worrying to me because in previous seasons, it was like, they teed up perfectly how it's going to go down. I think the finale almost needs to be an hour and a half, 2 hour long episode in order to really tie a nice bow on the season so far, because I feel like there could be some loose ends, but the show did just get renewed for season 4, so that's promising. But like I said, this show delivered exactly what I wanted. Escapism, fun, and summer vibes. We're watching these teens hang out in the summer, making dumb decisions at times, trying to come back to reality at the OBX after being on Pogelandia. There's a lot of different character groupings this season, which was nice for a change of pace. Usually we have like 2 or 3 main plots. It feels like we've got almost 4 or 5 running here, but they all work together really well. I can definitely see how there's still room for a 4th season just because our characters have grown so much from the first episode of season 3 to where I'm at right now. And as a fan of Outer Banks, I dug the hell out of it. And I think if you guys enjoy Outer Banks seasons 1 and 2, this will be right up your alley. This is what the show's made for. It's established a fan base from season 1. Season 2 is a hit, and Season 3 is going to be just that. It's bigger in scale, just like a lot of these Netflix shows tend to be. You know, as they get more into the shows and the fandom grows, we get more of a budget here, and we see that on display. There's some grand moments that just really impressed me. The sense of adventure is there. I do wish the main villainous threat was a little more fleshed out, because he's pretty one-note, I'll be honest with you. And the fact that they brought in this new character to be the villain of Outer Banks, he's a little one-note and didn't work for me fully. But again, it's all about our main group of characters growing up in the Outer Banks, growing as characters, and that's on full display here. In fact, there's a lot of interesting ideas and themes present in the season, notably redemption, atoning, and trying to live a better life. Like, all of those are on display. And again, to me, I was pretty impressed with what they pulled off here in Season 3. Fingers crossed they can stick the landing with this finale. And again, the show got off the beaten path a little bit at times, meaning near the end of the season, it felt like we were gearing up for this big thing, and then boop, monkey wrench just got thrown in, and it was like, whoa, we had all this momentum going, and it kind of killed the momentum just a little bit for me. I can't say what it is yet, but I will get into that at some point when spoilers are allowed. But through 9 episodes, this season has given me exactly what I wanted. The vibes are here, and if you love Outer Banks, you're gonna love this season, which again, makes me so happy to say that. But those are just my 2 cents, non-spoilery, on Outer Banks Season 3, Episode 1 through 9. I will probably have some spoilery content coming down the road, but stay tuned for more Outer Banks content coming soon. I'll have a character tier list ranking, as well as a seasons ranking, probably a few other videos as well. But what do you guys think of Outer Banks 3? If you've seen it, let me know down below. What are your predictions if you have not seen it? Let's talk about all that in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, P for L, baby.